Hello guys, and welcome back to my channel, and welcome back to another Love is Blind review. Very awkward because I started it on like the second to last episode, deciding to, I'm gonna review the show at the end. But nonetheless, I've enjoyed it. It was really fun, like speaking with you guys in the comments and like all the conversation going on regarding the episode. So I thought it's only right I do the weddings, and I'm dressed accordingly, my little wedding guest dressed, as I was a guest at these very interesting weddings. But so without further ado, let's just get straight into it. Also, just like last time, I'm going to be using my phone for some notes. Got some OJ here with me. Okay, so we start off with a recap of Izzy and Stacy's relationship, and then my first thought was, though, what a season, because we didn't even get bachelorette or bachelor parties for them. Like, we just went straight to the weddings, like wedding dress fitting and then wedding, final day wedding. They didn't even give, unless they did and they just didn't show it, I don't know. So we see they're like now getting ready for their wedding, like doing makeup, hair, all of that. And Stacy refers to Izzy as exotic and a hot chunk of meat or something. What did she say? And a chunk of meat. And I said, yikes. Like, clearly it's like physical that's keeping her there. I was like, if that's all you've got, Stacy, say no. And then Izzy, so the first time we hear him say, when he's talking about Stacy, she's a tough nut to crack or something like that. And he says, being in love with Stacy has been a ride, a crazy ride, but I wouldn't do it with anyone else. Like, if that is how someone is reflecting on our journey together, our love story together, and it's just a crazy ride, a tough nut to crack, it's not hot chunk of meat, exotic. I'm not seeing everlasting from their descriptions. Izzy says love has no credit score, love has no timeline. And in my head I'm thinking, I'm sure her dad told you her love flies first class, so credit score probably matters. But he keeps alluding and saying that sort of rhetoric over and over again. And Izzy, he keeps on saying, obviously, I don't care about money. And in my head, you should. Or, like, here's the thing. If you're with someone and you're equally yoked, then it's all good. If you both together, money isn't really something you guys care about, you want to live a small, humble life, that is fine, because there's people that are very happy doing that and live happier lives than many other people sometimes. But that's not who Stacy is. Like, know who you're marrying. Money matters. And also, in regards to money, I'm going to get into it a bit later on in the episode. And then Stacy reveals, obviously, his favorite restaurant is Chipotle. Now, don't get me wrong, when done well, Chipotle is great. I feel like some Chipotles have gone really downhill. Like, the quality isn't up there like where it used to be. Anyway, her saying that, I'm like, Stacey, this man is not taking you on a private jet. This is not the man you said you wanted, but hey, who am I? What do I know? So then Stacey is letting her mum know what had happened the day before about the credit cards and the lies and everything. And for me, if on the day of your wedding you're talking about, in regards to your partner, lies and red flags, that in itself is a red flag. Like, that shouldn't be the conversation on the morning of your wedding. So I'm watching this like, Stacy, say no, this is not it. So Izzy, like, it is quite sweet. He writes her a letter, and she opens it. She seems happy with it. And again, he's saying why he loves her. And again, there's nothing of substance in there. Like, what do I have here? He likes her boobs. She's not complacent. And he likes the chase of her. That isn't how I would want to describe the person I love, everlasting love, someone I'm about to get married to. These are the main points you want them to know right before you're walking down the aisle? And then obviously Stacy is really happy for the note, and she appreciates, like, for the first time, because I guess she had stated to him she wants notes and love notes. This is something she wants, and this is the first time he's done it off his own back unsolicited. And I'm like, this wasn't unsolicited. This was his Hail Mary. You just had a big bust up the day before because you found out he was lying. This is his Hail Mary. It wasn't unsolicited. But yeah, all in all, while I'm watching this, I'm like, Stacy is seeming uncertain to me. And it's looking like she might say no. I'm also praying she does say no. And Izzy is, obviously they're giving their, I guess you call them vows. And he's talking about the time they've spent together. He's like, you've made me into a better man. And I'm like, you were literally just lying yesterday. Anyway, so as you all know, Izzy says, I do. Stacy starts to give a speech. And in that moment, I know she's going to say no. And she says she can't. They still kiss. And she's alluding to she still wants to date him. And I guess move slow, and he seems okay with it. And then obviously she has to leave the altar. But even though, one thing I noticed from that interaction, the producers probably say, like, if you say no, you've got to walk back. You've got to leave him at the altar. But she made a point of giving him a speech to let it be known, like, I still want this for us. So she made a point to do that. Okay. So then we see Izzy and, he says he's hurt, he's confused, he's sad, as if there weren't enough substantial reasons for her to say, maybe we should take our time. You were just lying about your credit. You have bad credit. This is something that is important to her. I speak about it later in my notes, but I'm just going to say it now. We all know finances are a big reason why marriages break down. So if you don't have that in order right now, it's not the time to rush into a marriage, but she probably does want to make things work. So she's like, let's still date. Let's take our time. Let's get this sorted out, Izzy's mum comes and gives her a pep talk. It is very sweet. And then after that, Izzy and Stacy meet. And there's a switch up because at the aisle, in the altar, like when everyone was there, it seemed like, oh yeah, it's all good. I guess maybe he's had time to think. But the way he was looking at her while she's talking, like, he wants her to feel bad. It was I'm not going to say what I want to say because it could just be editing, but it was showing signs of something else. That's what I'm going to say. Yeah, and I say she's smart to not get married because finances are one of the big causes, or breakdown in finances are one of the big causes of divorce. So, like, take your time. She saw red flags and didn't ignore them. And he's acting confused, like this has come out of nowhere. Just yesterday, she found out you lied, Izzy. I don't know what you don't understand. Like, of course, someone might call off a wedding if they find out you've lied about something major. But yeah, she says to him, like, I need time to know if I can trust you. Which is wise because, again, she's found out he lied. But he's annoyed by it, which, I mean, she's making complete sense. And Izzy's making this point of, oh, you're waiting for time and the right time. When will be the right time to get married if it's not now? Like, let's just do it. Like, in his head, he's like, let's just do it. And in my head, I'm thinking, calm down. You've only known each other for like 2 weeks or a few weeks, right? This whole process. So if you date and wait another year or 2 years, that is actually normal timing, It's all right. Had they been together for like 5 years and she's still at the altar, like, I don't know, fair. But this is still early days, so it's okay if you don't get married. Marriage is a big thing, and Izzy was like acting as if she's being unreasonable, which was wild to me. And then he makes a comment and he says, and I quote, she's always trying to find something wrong. Izzy, you gave her that something wrong. She didn't have to look that hard. You lied. I don't know what he doesn't get about how severe his lie was. It was crazy to me. And then he obviously says, I want to be loved the way I love. And then he walks away. Okay, I made a big paragraph of a note, so I'm going to read from my phone. So sorry, guys. So then he says, I just want to be loved the way that I love. And he walks away. And I get that she embarrassed him in front of everyone when she said no. Like, that definitely can be, like, hard to bear in front of everyone. But as much as she did say no, she did kiss him. She did tell him how much she appreciates him and wants to continue on the relationship. And this isn't your normal wedding. Like, everybody there understands the circumstances of what they're in. So it's not going to be that wild if she says no, if that makes sense. But in the grand scheme of things, again, she just found out you were lying to her yesterday, the day before the wedding, and the whole time about like your credit and everything, even though she gave you multiple opportunities to say something. So for Izzy to try and flip this and make himself out to be the victim in this situation, when she kind of is the one who is, and is being penalized for making a decision that many people would probably make. This is what got me. Izzy then stood there and says, you know, I blocked out everything, like money, looks, drama. And I'm thinking, Izzy, she has money. So yeah, even if you say you blocked it out, she has it. You don't need to worry about that. Looks, Stacy is an attractive woman. Drama. Most of this drama started because of you, because you wanted to go and fight Johnny, because you wanted to always compare her to Johnny and say you like her because she fought Johnny, because you lied about your credit, because you don't know how to take accountability, because you played the victim anytime she asked you to level up, just even in the tiniest, because you said you were gonna you were gonna cook for her every night, give her meals, whatever, and you failed to do that. Instead, you gave her a coupon and made it as if it's a treat when you said you'd be doing it continuously. But now she has a coupon for one time you're going to cook for her. Yet we still haven't seen you cook, by the way. But anyway, what do I know? Then Izzy's talking about he was in the gym and Titanic was playing. I'm so confused that gyms show Titanic. Anyway, and that's what love should be like. You know, that statement, Izzy, makes a lot more sense to me now. And he's, you know, again, giving this whole speech of credit scores and all of that don't matter. I hate to break it to you, they actually do. Finances are a big part of marriages. Like, I'm sure there's stats that you can look up, Izzy. Like, it is a big integral part. Yes, the love and the care you have for someone is very important, but the finances definitely play a part. This is where, okay, when I saw this, was I a bit disgusted that Izzy said this? Kind of. But why only kind of? Because I'm not surprised. I had his number from the beginning. I knew what kind of guy Izzy was. And now that he's not getting his way and he's feeling hurt, he's trying to hit below the belt. And he says, and I quote, "It makes me wonder why she's 33 and still single." I was like, first of all, 33 is not that old. Secondly, if she wanted to, as you've seen now, Izzy, she could be married because people like you trying to leech onto her, and she said no. And I'm sure it's been the case many other times. She just has her standards. So don't shame her for having standards. That was really distasteful. Very distasteful. But am I shocked from Izzy? Absolutely not. But yeah, like, that was an insight into later down the line he would hit below the belt with arguments. And I think, and I could be wrong, but it was giving me like he would do that out of insecurity in himself. So anytime he doesn't feel as if he's enough or financially as well off as she is, which is the case, and that would be the outline of their relationship, he'd say things to hit below the belt to try and get to her, to make himself feel better about himself. So Izzy, bye. I'm so glad you're off my screen. Although, reunion, I will be reviewing that. Okay, let's move on to Lydia and Milton. Milton looks so cute on his wedding day. Can you see I was smiling so much more? Talking about a good man, not Izzy. And then we find out he hasn't actually slept. He was working a night shift and came straight to the wedding. And he's talking about how, you know, he's nervous and unsure and things. And I have in my notes here, when you have lack of sleep, that can really affect your viewpoint on certain things, how you feel. Sometimes maybe you feel a bit anxious when you've been like up all day. So I feel like that is playing a part in his jitters. He hasn't written his vows. Very Milton. Lydia has no doubts about it, which I kind of always knew anyway. Also, one of Milton's friends, I feel like he was trying to psych him out. Like, low-key, this is a big deal. Don't do it. Like, he was asking good questions. Fair. Ask them before the wedding. Like, right before he's walking down the aisle, you want to ask this? Okay, then we have Lydia. By the way, Lydia looks beautiful, stunning. Love the wedding dress choice. And so she stood there in her wedding dress giving the speech of a lifetime. Like, it felt like the end of her rom-com movie. Like, she had been waiting for this moment. I think I wrote down some of what she said. She was like, all those hard times, all those lonely nights, all those no's, all of this, it was all for this moment. And she's like, you know, shedding a tear. Love that for you, Lydia. Milton's conversation with his dad, like he has a conversation right before the wedding, and initially I'm thinking, okay, this is cute, like last minute bit of advice, but then it gets a bit awkward and it starts talking about how he fights with his mom. I was like, oh, like, again, because of, this is what I was saying, this isn't your normal wedding. So some of these conversations, I've never been married, but I can't imagine that is what is going down on the day of your wedding. Could be wrong. And then obviously Milton's worried, like everyone's having concerns. Is this something I should worry about? And I think it's the speed of in which it's happening. So then Milton, we see him down the aisle. He doesn't know whether or not to button up the jacket, and he's asking the guy, should this be buttoned up? Very Milton, loved it so much. And I write here, like, Milton is giving me a bit of a wild card. Like, I don't know whether or not he's going to say yes. I was leaning more towards him saying yes, but he was giving me a bit of uncertainty. Lydia, as suspected, says I do. And one thing I took note of, Milton's sister looked so happy to be there, was loving the love on the day, which I think supports what I was saying in the last review, in that, yes, she had her concerns, but I think it was more so about Milton, like, is he truly ready? And not that she didn't like Lydia. I think she was edited to look a lot more cold than what she actually is. But yeah, the whole family, they look really happy to be there. So I think it was to bring a bit more drama. And yeah, so Milton says I do. And the whole family is happy, which again, like I said, makes me believe it was edited more so to bring a bit more drama, to make it seem like they just didn't support it. But how crazy would it have been if they said no? Milton said no too, so there were no actual marriages. This Love is Blind, like, came very close. Only one marriage this whole season out of all the couples. That is wild. But yeah, like I even wrote in my notes, guys, are we taking this in? Lydia and Milton are the only couple to get married the whole season. Like, that's actually crazy when you think about it. Milton and Lydia outside, they are very cute. Like, you can't deny that. He puts on her veil. The way Milton's grabbing Lydia at certain points, Milton is... Listen, don't sleep on the geeks. That's all I'm going to say. Sleep with them. No, I'm joking. Izzy is basically saying he feels like Stacy didn't put in the effort, or didn't want to put in the effort. And I'm like, Izzy, really? Like, I support Stacy's decision, because marriage is a big thing. And she saw these red flags and thought, no, not going to jump into that. So that is my general review. There wasn't too much to speak on. It was pretty... We didn't even see much of the party after. Like, last season, we saw more celebration after the wedding. Like, guys, this season was... I mean, there was twists and turns in it, for sure, and a lot that you didn't expect. But in terms of what the premise of the show is about and the structure it usually follows, this was a dumpster fire. Is that the word? Is that the saying? Yeah, this was insane. One marriage. Wish them all the best. I'm looking... Who's going to be at the reunion? Because normally they have couples sat at the reunion, right? There's one couple married. Maybe Johnny and Chris are still together. It's going to be like just your average reality show reunion, where it's not based on couples, because everyone's going to be coming single, trying to clear their name. The reunion's gonna be good. I saw something about 5 p.m. 15th October. I feel like I saw it say live, but they better not try and do a live reunion again. Vanessa, please, if you see this video and it is a live reunion, or you haven't even recorded the reunion yet, I'm begging you, please, Vanessa, behave, please. And if the execs higher up are watching this, please don't bring Vanessa. Give us Lauren and Cameron. But yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing the reunion, seeing where everyone is at. I'm going to take a wild guess and say Stacy and Izzy are no longer together. That would be my guess from watching this, just his reaction. But also I've been seeing some talks of him with, not Irina, I forgot her name. She was best friends with Irina. Aaliyah's got herself a new man. I think she might be engaged, or it was a promise ring. I don't know. I don't want to see Uche, but I do want him to be held to the fire. So maybe bring him back. But I will be discussing the reunion as well as soon as it's out. But I hope you guys enjoyed this. I want to know your thoughts. Do you think the right decisions were made? Do you see Lydia and Milton lasting? Thoughts on Izzy? Am I too harsh? Or am I not harsh enough? But yeah, let me know, guys. I hope you guys did enjoy this video. And as always, if you did, feel free to like, comment, subscribe. All that good stuff I meant to ask you to do. Please do. And I'm just rambling now. And I don't really know how to end this. So I'm just gonna go.